Dad was our agent, but that hasn't been working out too good. So today I had to sign with an agent.
Yeah, give me the most productive wide receiver last year. Now that the draft is officially over, a lot of people have been signed or, getting invited to mini camps. It's time to kind of put a bow on everything. And I want to start with the people who didn't even get to hear their names called on draft night, starting with Shiloh Sanders and 5 other undrafted free agents, or just people who aren't on teams and didn't get drafted at all. That might surprise you. These are college football legends, specifically in the last year, that really a lot of people thought that, hey, this guy deserves a chance. So first things first, Shiloh Sanders. Now, even though Sanders and then the Sanders family is quite controversial, there's a lot of people who are big fans of Shiloh Sanders, and I don't think everybody knows the full story. So let's Deion Sanders.
Shiloh started out playing quarterback. He just got to that point. I said, son, it's over. Why you gonna let him do it? It is over. I said, Shiloh, you're gonna be a corner. I can teach you how to do this. You're gonna get offers from all around the country. We went in the backyard. Stuff had a couple guys running little routes on him. Guy got off the jam and he missed him clean. He said, your stuff don't work. I said, God bless you. I walked right in the house, got in bed.
You hard on Shiloh.
No, I have to be, because he's that kid that's gonna always keep you on your knees.
What pause? He means prayer. But yeah, Shiloh Sanders, I think is the epitome of sacrifice. I want to talk about a few things, right? We already made a video about it, and I was very passionate about what Shiloh Sanders did for Shador Sanders, and what I mean by that is just be a big brother, right? He gave a lot of support during the specifically during that draft process, and his unlikely fall throughout the draft, and having a support system like that, and having a father that instilled that in Shiloh and Shador to be that mentally tough, I think is important and something to highlight. But specifically with Shiloh, right? You go back to his high school days, and he gets kicked off for being a quarterback. Now he has to play corner. Okay. And then he goes to South Carolina, but then, okay, you have to stop your SEC dreams to come play for your dad and do stuff over here. Who knows what that resulted in. He even played, I think, an extra year because obviously he wanted to stay with the team. I mean, he was like 25 at the time of coming into the draft and stuff like that. So there was a lot of sacrifices that Shiloh gave, and on top of that, he continued to work hard. I know we did videos on this, but here he is thanking the people, the Zybex Sports. We've had the best time getting to know you and working with you, Shiloh. Thanks for bringing us along for the ride. We were proud to see you actually achieve your goal. We were excited to watch you play for the Buccaneers. Go be legendary. It's on you. So he spent his time in the offseason having the actual people with the laser 40-yard times, and trying to improve and try to obviously get down to 4.4 and do everything. But that's real commitment, right? That's taking them lemons and making it lemonade, right? And I think that for as much as entitled and this and that and flashy and whatever name that you call the Sanders family, I think some of y'all need to also put behind that, hard working, humble in some regards, right? Shiloh Sanders don't come with the big blockbuster in the same way that Shador does, right? He don't care. He don't act like it's a problem. He's every time Shiloh is in the room, he's the center of attention. I'm sorry. It's Shiloh. You know what I mean? And he does it to a great regard. Congratulations for him to signing with the Buccaneers. But hey man, look, this is what it is. This
all right, their picks in, bro. It is what it is, bro.
Still gonna happen, man.
I gotta go get signed. I need to go talk to Coach Brown, try to get on the team real quick. Try to get in camp. Y'all just think about Ryan Clark, though. One of the greatest safeties that ever played. Went undrafted, just like me. Blankenship from the Eagles, undrafted.
But you know how, do you know what kind of mindset that is? To instead of, and there he is talking about the agent thing, that was our agent that hasn't worked out. But you have to understand, that takes a lot to immediately, instead of just being like, oh my God, it's a problem, it's a this, it's a that. Oh nah, it's next step. What's the next step? Let me get on this number. Let's get on the team. And now he did. Hey, boom. Now he's got a chance. And if you're not familiar, just before we go any farther, when you get signed, right, you're signed to camp. So there is a bit, I believe, like a signing bonus. Ain't nothing next to what the drafts get. But I'm only going to make this distinction because you can be invited to a mini camp. And from what I understand, that you ain't getting nothing. That's just like you're trying to try out for the tryouts, because the signing is the tryout. You're signed through camp. You get your camp money. You get your guarantee, whatever that is in your contract. And then after that, when you get down to the 52-man rosters, you either get a contract for the year or, get cut or get whatever, or practice squad. So just keep in mind, this doesn't mean that they are gonna play or even gonna be on the team or gonna dress at all. This just means they have a chance to. I think Shiloh Sanders has a decent chance. Now, someone who I think has a phenomenal chance down there in Atlanta. By the way, Atlanta notoriously, absolutely flumbles what they do goddamn down there in the draft, but I think what they did in the draft was impressive, and even more impressive what they did in undrafted free agents. Nick Nash and Kobe Bryant. We're going to talk about Kobe Bryant a little later too. We'll see what number he is on this list, but going from Shiloh, and this is actually number 1 because Shiloh is just kind of like, it's technically 6, but it's 5. Don't worry about it. Just ride along with us. All right, Nick Nash. Now, this was the Triple Crown winner from San Jose State. And here's the thing about this, like, I think it's easy just to say, like, okay, well, he's, bad competition, XYZ. It's a smaller school. Even though he won the Triple Crown in NCAA for receivers, because Harold Fannin did have more receiving yards, which is crazy. Receiving yards, receptions, and receiving touchdowns, right? Here are the stats right here. 2024, 104 receptions, 1,382 yards, a 13.3 average, 16 touchdowns, and a long of 45. The kid's an absolute dog. Led the NCAA, 6'3", 205-pounder with an outstanding season for the Spartans. Like, this is one of those undrafted free agents where it's like, okay, I was, just have to be honest with you, I wasn't watching San Jose State games. I got to be real with you. But it was, whenever we do our weekly videos or whatever, and we look at the rankings of, the receiving yards, he was firmly up there at number 1. It was him and Nick Harris. And obviously Travis was up there for a second, but he ended up being number 2 and number 3. Not counting playoffs, because I know I think after playoff Jeremiah Smith. But anyway, not the point. But he was consistently number 1 up there when it came to the regular season. He just kept popping up, and I just kept seeing his name. I was like, oh yeah, that dude's gonna be like 3rd round, whatever, drafted, production type guy. But no, at 6'3", again, this is a great frame. That's an NFL frame, 6'3", 205. And then you get the production and you get the frame. At that point, you would think that NFL front offices could look past the Mountain West, but maybe there was something else going on. But I just feel like this is like an easy, even in the 6th round, yeah, give me the most productive wide receiver last year. Why not? Like, but maybe I'm overthinking it. We do have some highlights as well.
Nick Nash is one of the
from what's it called? Some stuff. Obviously, it's great. Something that I love about these smaller schools is they also get into the media game because they see what Colorado's been able to do. Not just Colorado, but other schools. So that means we got non-copyright stuff to look at and watch him operate. But I think the kid is sudden. He's good. But really where I think his bread's going to be buttered is that catch point and that catch radius. He's going to be able to go up and get it. And he is plenty good after the catch as well. But I think, in the NFL, you're going to want to, make a name for yourself. And I think where that's going to come with is like I said, being able to compete for those jump balls and different things, right? So, and then here's even Des Bryant calling it out. He says, I think Nick Nash will be one of the biggest draft steals in the draft. Isaiah Bond, Nick Nash, Kobe Bryant going undrafted is nasty work. Glad Nick Nash is signing as an undrafted free agent. Getting congrats to the Falcons. But man, undrafted with this talent shovel is a shame. Could have easily won the Biletnikoff Award. Former quarterback. I didn't know that. Former quarterback turned wide receiver. Most underrated CFB in a while. Yeah, he underrated is the real one because like how, again, production, build, former quarterback, that usually goes well as well. Maybe we got to see what the measurables were. He had to have maybe had some bad, not measurables, but maybe bad testing numbers. That's the only thing that I can see, because when I look at this, I see that boy head tapping people, going up and get it, and I think that's where he's gonna make his money on that goal line. He's gonna make his money stretching the field for a little bit. But clearly he's got plenty of tools. But continuing forward, another surprising undrafted free agent. I wasn't surprised because I'm a Texas fan. Isaiah Bond. I think this one is more surprising because when you think about the full story of Isaiah Bond, right? When he was in Alabama, he was Ryan Williams. What I'm saying? He was Ryan Williams before we knew who Ryan Williams was. And I think that he was supposed to be that guy. Then he transfers to Texas. Hey, we stole another Alabama. Hey, what did it start good for except for stealing the Alabama wide receiver? Shout out to Xavier Worthy. So he comes in, and more famously, he comes in saying that he's going to break the 40 record. And that didn't go too well. I think he ran like a 4.5. He ran like an embarrassing 40 time. And it ended up at the last two combine series, Xavier Worthy at 4.21, Matthew Golden 4.30, Adonai Mitchell at 4.34, and Isaiah Bond at 4.40. Now 4.40 is not disrespectful, but when you say you're going to break the record and you run a 4.40, and Adonai Mitchell, who is I think 2 inches taller than you, runs a significantly faster 40, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. And this is him before the draft saying, I asked Isaiah Bond if this group can break the draft record for players selected in 1 year. Is what he
You
said.
think there's any chance y'all break the record for the amount of players drafted in 1 year?
100%. 100%. What is the record?
15, Georgia, 2020.
Yeah, we're going to have that. We're going to have that.
Well, you're not on the list, buddy. I actually don't know if they specifically broke it, but they did not have it. And obviously another part, what's it called? Another part of this, and probably the bigger reason why he didn't get his name called, is this whole situation. This is a nasty, nasty situation. What's it called? Isaiah Bond has turned himself into the police last night due to an outstanding warrant for that actual I'm not gonna say all that because you can't say all that or YouTube does nasty things to you. He has since posted bond and was released. So having this scenario kind of around you now, from what I've heard, this was so some people saying open case, some people saying he was wrongfully. You know what I mean? Again, I think it's an open case, so I think, you got to let the case get closed before we have any real conversation about it. But I think that had a lot to do with him being undrafted, as well as having a 40 time. I was not expecting it. I was like, oh, yeah, at least 4.3, and then we'll see from there. But having a 4.40, being known as a speed guy, it's not the best thing. And as well, which really sucks, he went undrafted. Remind you, he went undrafted. He was a guy that presumed that he was going to be drafted. And guess what happened? Another prank call.
Hello?
Isaiah,
Yes, sir.
what's going on?
It's going good right now. What about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's Terry from the Atlanta Falcons.
Yes, sir. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Isaiah. I'm gonna give the phone to Arthur Blank right now, but we're gonna put the pick in.
Yes, sir. That's good. That's good. That's good news. That's good news. Hey, you're getting a baller. Just know that. I'm coming to work.
Roll.
Dude, these dudes is losers, dog. That's lame. So everybody, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people got prank called. So whoever leaked those numbers, dog, you better have some problems coming your way. Continuing on, DJ. I don't want to pronounce your name. I never learned how to pronounce your name, and it's not because I don't like it. It's because I don't want to disrespect your Polynesian heritage. It's a long last name. DJ. Who was, again, a 5-star coming into Clemson at he came from a powerhouse high school too. Went from a powerhouse high school to a powerhouse college, St. John Bosco out there on the West Coast. And then you go down there to Clemson. And you're kind of mid at Clemson. Didn't have the best years at Clemson. Go to Oregon State and statistically have a superb year. Very high and efficient, very high in being able to put the ball where it can be and not where it shouldn't be. And then you go to Florida State, and which was presumably they were locked and loaded for another run with a lot of transfer talent, and we know what happened. It was nasty. It was bad. They was losing to everybody. I think they finished with, like, historically the top 3 worst seasons in history of Florida State in the 50 years, I think 50 or 75 years of Florida State football. One of the worst to ever happen ever. Which, when you think about it, it's kind of young for a football team, usually about there in the 1800s. But anyway, he only got a $3,000 signing bonus as an undrafted free agent. That's coming from obviously probably making plenty more money when it came to the NIL scene. But again, I don't think that's what it's about, man. I think some of these kids, we get mad at people for enjoying football or not enjoying football, I should say. But hey, man, maybe he just wants to play in the league, right? And now we know DJ, the last time we saw him, it looked like he had rocks in his socks. He wasn't the most mobile, wasn't really attacking the best way. He didn't seem like a prospect that you'd be happy with at the time. But it seems like the hardball boys are going to take a chance on him, throw him a little undrafted free agent contract, and go from there. Obviously, there's been a lot of controversy around him, but this is the type of guy you get, right? I know we had the whole Will Howard situation, which apparently was true. Pat McAfee said it was true. Will Howard said it was true, but this was also true. This is what DJ was doing back in 2021 at 12:30. Just getting throws in, right? So. I think it's funny to clown on DJ, he had his bad year, DJ Yuga the booty, whatever, blah blah blah, all the funny Matt B Diddy jokes. But when we actually sit down and look at it, right, this is a kid who really wanted it, right? This is a young man who I don't think transferred because he just didn't like the setup. I think he transferred because the ultimate goal was to be in the NFL. And when you see things like this, when you see him putting in work like that, I think it leads more credence to that in his want and his ability. So congratulations to him signing somewhere. I think that would be interesting. So these aren't going to be too long here. This one's interesting. Donovan Edwards, obviously national champion, on the cover of College Football 25. I'm not sure. Comment down below if y'all been watching me since the College Football 25 days. It wasn't that long. It was just what I was doing first. It was like some of the videos that first did decent, I would say. And I still like doing College Football 25 videos. Y'all want me to do College Football 25 videos? Should I do a separate channel? Should I do it on this channel? Should I just live stream? Y'all let me know, man. It's the comment section. Y'all get down there. Let me know. But a national champion, former cover athlete, goes undrafted, but he does sign with the Jets. So congratulations to saying Donovan Edwards. Had a lot of choice words. You feel me? Obviously, he was talking Ohio State like he always does, and he also congratulated Ohio State for winning a national championship. But I think Donovan Edwards, from what I've seen, is just a really good guy. Not the greatest running back. He's not consistent. He's a home run hitter, but that's it. He can't hit no base hits. He's bad with vision. He struggles with a lot of different things. So he's a developmental guy. But I think he's got the physical traits to be able to make something happen. Now, Kobe Bryant. Not that Kobe Bryant, but this Kobe Bryant is somebody who I was super excited for. I thought he was just a presumptive, late round guy. Specifically from what I saw from the Shrine Bowl. Now he's an impact player. If y'all remember, Kobe Bryant was not called out, but he was accepting of the challenge to go against Travis Hunter when Kansas went against Colorado. This is a guy at I think 6'1". He's really light. Where's his size and weight? He's super light. Where's his height? So so he's 6 foot 180. He's 177, right? He's 177. He's super light. He's super slender, but he is so physical, right? And he wants to get into you, right? I know he's 170 pounds, but Kobe Bryant is one of my favorite players in this class. 11 interceptions, 17 pass breakups, 3 forced fumbles over the last 3 seasons, and the most physical cornerback in the run support I've watched. And he is not afraid of nobody. He wants to chop down every single tree he sees. Kansas cornerback Kobe Bryant this season, 343 coverage snaps, 1 touchdown allowed, 4 interceptions, 1 pass breakup, 59.1 passer rating. So it was really there. I think he was a guy that should have definitely been drafted, and I think this came down to probably more so his build than anything, or maybe some bad interviews. But he says Kobe Bryant, Kansas, yes, named after the Kobe Bryant, and he had a formal meeting with the Cowboys ball hawk for the Rock Chalk, who may join the other. His biggest opportunity to improve.
That's one of your biggest strengths. You're a ball hawk. You're always around the ball. What would you say would be your biggest opportunity for improvement coming into the professional ranks?
Tackling big backs. I want to tackle big backs like Saquon Barkley and stuff like that. So that's my biggest step next.
And clearly, he ain't afraid to call people out, ain't afraid to take that next step. So, hey, man, the Falcons got another dog. Shout out to the Falcons, man. Shout out to Kobe Bryant. Shout out to all these undrafted free agents we talked about. Kobe Bryant, Donovan Edwards, DJ, I don't want to disrespect your family, Isaiah Bond, former Texas guy. We got Nick Nash, and, of course, Shiloh Sanders. Really appreciate y'all hanging out with me, man. Like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't like it. Subscribe if you enjoy college football content, draft content, NIL, transfer portal, all different types of updates, man. Hit that bell icon as well to stay locked in. Subscribe to all that fun stuff, and we will see you next time. Wait, don't forget to be great, because y'all are great. I know you know you're great. Keep doing it, man. Peace.